What is going on, everybody? It is episode 877 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I have some bad news for everyone. The air conditioning is not working in the PCC studio, so it's going to be a rough one today, but we always trek forward, and I'm here once again with my co-host. She looks fantastically happy about this. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, crisis actors. It's Mary. You know what? I'm just gonna take it one moment at a time today. If we overheat and pass out while live streaming, you know what? It's just good views. Use it as a way to chase clout. It's fine. But, you know, I was just saying to Brett that it's not the heat. It's the humidity.
It's always the humidity.
You know?
It's very Midwestern.
My skin feels sticky right now. And I'm not sweating. It's literally in the air. So, like, that's what's killing me. But we're going to be fine. You know?
So luckily, like, the color scheme for our show belies its showing. You'll notice it more on me. There have definitely been days where the air hasn't been working in here as well. And you'll be talking, and I'll glance at the screen at myself, and I feel like the infrared is going off, and I'm bright red from the heat in here. And for some reason, it's always just being on during the show. So before the show, I don't notice it as much. But then as soon as we're about to go live, I'm like getting a little stuffy in here.
Well, you know,
isn't it?
You're going to suffer more for this. I am always the cold one, right, as the stereotype goes, and I'm gonna be surviving just fine.
But I wouldn't do the show in a tank top. It would be rude.
That would be indecent. Did we ever do a poll on that with the chat? Did we ever ask that? I wanted to put up a poll in the chat and ask all of you if you think it would be indecent for Brett to wear a tank top on the show, because I said that's taking it a little too far.
So is that like, that mean not like during, well, I'm out skating, it's fine, but because we're inside here somehow,
on the live stream.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up right now.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever worn just a tank top on the show, and I think that's just maybe my own personal, you know, boundary that I've drawn, but I could be wrong. Like maybe I did once or twice. Usually, I wear some kind of cover up. I feel like it should be the same standard for both men and women, though.
I'm putting this up right now.
I mean, if you wouldn't wear a tank top, on IRL, you know, you shouldn't wear a tank top on PCC.
I'd wear it on IRL
You
too if it
would?
was on one of those days where it's too freaking hot in there and the air conditioning isn't working.
I don't know.
The
I
poll is up.
appreciate that a lot of IRL guests wear a suit, though. That is nice that they care.
And at one point, the like the rule was like you only didn't have to wear headphones if you had a cowboy hat on. It was the cowboy hat exception. But now,
but that's not even a rule anymore.
No.
Nobody wears the headphones.
Well, they have it set up now in IRL that when they play audio clips, you can hear it in the studio. You don't have to.
Exactly.
You don't have to have the headphones on. If you're in this show, you have to have the headphones on.
I never wear headphones on IRL. I don't know why, but it just
But
helps
also,
me actually engage in the conversation.
So yeah. So what I've learned is like when we're doing this show, sometimes I think it's like the sound of your own voice in your headphones actually distracts me because I'm literally my brain is so fragmented. Sometimes I'll be talking and as I'm talking, I'll be like, why did I say this that way? And then I'll start thinking about what I'm saying as I'm saying it, and I completely lose my train of thought. When you don't have the headphones on, it feels much more like a normal interaction. The only time that's a problem for me is some people are just more soft-spoken, and given the hearing loss, I'll have to wear them if the guest is, you know, too quiet.
I like it loud. We know that. I like it. Helps me zone in.
People who come in, so whenever Mary's been gone, you know, Aiden sat in that chair, Phil has sat in that chair, and they put Mary's headphones on. I say something, and the headphones go flying into the roof of this building, and they go
acting like I'm crazy. Like I think my volume level is very normal, but everyone else says that I must be deaf.
So, you know, I'm partially deaf. You're putting headphones on that are going to one day make you deaf.
I don't feel like it's having any effect, but I could be wrong.
So, you know what? There it is. We'll leave the poll up. So far, 66%, 68% say no, it's fine, but we'll wait till the end of the show. This is a hot button issue here today.
If anything, I would feel like it's more acceptable for a woman to wear a tank top on the live stream.
That's what I thought you meant when you brought this up before.
Honestly,
I don't know if I talked about
but
this off air before, when you said I felt like it would be indecent, I assumed you meant for me and not for you because it would just be more normal for a woman to wear a tank top.
It is more
normal.
But
yeah.
only, I mean, like, you know, it's a tank top, but it has straps.
Yeah.
Not spaghetti straps.
Well, yeah. Like it's like just a regular tank top for guys.
No, for women.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I have some of those.
So, you know what? There it is, guys. We'll have to wait till the end of the show to figure out just whether or not it is indecent to wear a tank top while filming a podcast. So what are we getting into today? We got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but before we get started, as always, hit the like button on this video. You should do so to support us, given the fact that it is so hot in the studio here today. Hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the content out with your friends, your family, your loved ones, even the people in your life that you hate or even just don't like a little bit, because what you can then do is share the content with them and then argue about whatever it is you're watching of us in the comments section to help increase our engagement. It is part of my master plan to help grow this show. So what are we getting into today? A bunch of stuff to talk about. Number one, of course, being that it took exactly 0 time at all before the stars of the upcoming Harry Potter series on HBO Max, not Max anymore, HBO Max, are already getting bullied on the internet with a first look photo that was released from day one of filming with star Dominic McLaughlin. And of course, the internet is doing what the internet does. They're being mean to people on the internet. It doesn't matter who they are.
A child.
If they're a child or not, they're going to be mean to them.
The craziest comment I've seen so far is, he looks 12. He's 12.
Shocking.
He might, just call me crazy.
Yeah.
He might look 12 because he's 12.
So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about it. Also, I've got bad news for millennials everywhere. My Chemical Romance has gone woke.
Yeah, Gen Z is wokeifying My Chemical Romance.
As someone who was not an emo kid, this doesn't hurt me one bit. But I'm sure there's at least one adult emo kid, one adult
I bet
scene
we have
kid.
some My Chem fans in the chat for sure. I mean, I never really cared for them, to be honest.
It's before your time, right?
It is before my time, but there are a lot of bands that were before my time that I still enjoy. It's just they were never one of them for some reason. I'm more of a Pierce the Veil girly myself.
So we're gonna talk about them apparently going woke. And Mary, I'm not even gonna tell you the quote yet. Mary told me
crazy.
Mary told me a quote that the lead singer gave years ago now.
Yes.
That shook me to my core. Like, I don't know what year the quote was said, but we should have been able to predict 2018 based off this quote.
Well, it was actually post 2018.
Yeah, okay. That quote explains 2018.
I think. No, he might have said it in 2012. We'll reveal that later.
You'll have to stay tuned and watch to know what we're talking about.
On a cliffhanger.
So we're going to talk about that. Also, Sydney Sweeney, she's selling underwear.
It's true. It's true. There's nothing
lie.
else to it. That's just the truth, and we love to just report the facts on this show.
And
that's what we do.
And some just absolutely just livid female haters are saying that she's not ambitious enough. So
we have a 20 from Weary Traveler. They're both equally woke, but AFI was always better than MCR. Well, not according to the numbers, not according to their popularity.
Yep.
But
so we got that. We got
MCR is like the definition of mass marketed emo.
In the chat, Sonic Hero says, I always liked Evanescence more. I mean, they're not really the same genre.
No, I mean, but they're adjacent at the very least. Yeah. They were played on the same alt rock stations.
Amy Lee or whatever her name is making a comeback now. She was on the soundtrack to Ballerina with somebody in the chat knows it. It was a song called Fight Like a Girl.
She was like a 2 or 3 hit wonder, if we're being honest.
I liked Evanescence back in the day. It was like, at the time, I knew that it was kind of corny, but I liked it anyways.
Things were corny back then?
It was kind of corny, even back then. We're going to get into all of it. We got a bunch of stuff to get into. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go for it.
A couple of scenes from Superman are getting censored in other countries because they were deemed too sensual. There are a couple of kiss scenes between Lois Lane and Clark Kent in the movie that are extremely steamy and not fit for PG-13 audiences, according to the film regulators in India. They have the Indian Central Board of Film Certification, the CBFC. They removed 2 kiss scenes, most notably the 33-second long mid-air kiss toward the end of the movie. I haven't seen the movie. Brett has. But I'm surprised that they included such a long, drawn-out kiss scene,
Well, it's the very end of the movie. It's literally, I don't know if it's the final
You
shot
said it didn't feel like it was 33 seconds
so
long.
It's, what it is you get that moment at the end of everything, so it's a moment of catharsis for the audience, which allows that take to linger more. The other one that they're talking about, which was like Lois and Clark getting kind of frisky in her apartment, was so quick and over with that I didn't even remember. I honestly didn't even remember that it happened until I saw the screenshots of it, which I do have here. I didn't even remember this until
it cut after that part, I assume.
Yeah, well, they have like a reason to stop talk. Like they get in a fight, like in an argument, and then if I remember correctly, they get in an argument and he leaves. I did laugh. I'm sorry, I don't know if you wanted to start here, but this take from somebody that says,
this started from the original tweet about the censorship, and then someone said, soft porn in the name of kids and family-friendly superhero flick. Snyder's Man of Steel wasn't this dark and edgy.
Okay, so the first thing I thought of was not just in the movie, but in the trailer. Okay, not Man of Steel, but in Batman vs. Superman, there's the scene where Lois is in the bath, and it's the most sensual bath ever. If I remember correctly, no bubbles, no candles. It's a Zack Snyder movie, so everything's gray and dark, and Superman comes in and they talk. I don't even remember what they talk about, but he jumps into the bathtub with her. He jumps in, and he's got his clothes on still.
Was the water splashing?
Yes, it was. And then he takes his shirt off, and that's like the extent of it. But to be fair,
jumps
in that movie?
Must have been a big bathtub. Okay.
In that movie, Henry Cavill and Amy Adams had like negative chemistry. If you ask me, that's just my personal opinion on the matter. But yeah, they're like, this is like the hot take is to say that that it's dark and edgy. That's not what you're thinking of. Dark and edging. That's not the same thing as dark and edgy. I wouldn't have called anything in James Gunn's movie. Actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. Jor-El and Laura do tell Clark to go forth and take the women and start a harem. That's pretty edgy.
That is edgy. I would say that's edgy. That's not getting as much pushback though. One response
no, it is.
Said,
it is. Like the internet right now, at least my corner of the internet,
Oh.
all of the memes are about Jor-El with like purple drank and talking about harems.
No.
And it's not politically correct.
This response said, kissing is porn now? What a weird way to admit you've never kissed a girl on Maine. How is this any different from Henry Cavill kissing Amy Adams? I mean, the main difference being that Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet have chemistry. Henry Cavill and Amy Adams did not. That's the main difference. And they did reply with the gifs of Henry Cavill taking his shirt off in the bathtub, saying, meanwhile, look at this disgusting porn scene in Batman vs. Superman.
Oh, my stars and garters.
Yeah.
It's his bare back.
Like, everyone knows that I'm the moralist of this podcast, and I have no problem with a kiss scene in a movie. I really only would be bothered by it if they actually showed graphic sexual content in the movie, especially given that it's rated PG-13. But the Indian Central Board of Film Certification deemed these scenes overly sensual, and these cuts have fueled backlash over inconsistent and conservative censorship practices. There were a lot of people reacting to this saying it's ridiculous, and they were saying there were double standards. There was also a scene in F1 that got cut showing a middle finger emoji, which was then replaced with a fist emoji.
Oh, that's really funny. That's sad because that was a really funny part of the movie. So in the movie, this like duplicitous board member for the race team tries to like convince him to help screw over his old friend who got him the job. And he says, oh yeah. And he doesn't tell him that he's actually working against him. And then later he shows up at the final race and he sees him from across the track and he just texts him a middle finger emoji.
But then it's a
really
fist. That totally changes the meaning of the text message.
It looks like he's giving him a bro fist.
Yeah. You could at least send like the eye roll emoji or something that would communicate exasperation. And then India censored expletives in Thunderbolts recently. They were just muted. They weren't replaced with anything.
They also replaced apparently the scene of Guy Gardner flipping someone off with the Green Lantern ring with the power ring on. Like that's
Did they censor?
They must have censored that too.
Did they censor Millie Alcock calling Superman a bitch?
Probably not.
No,
I don't know if bad words are necessarily the same thing as visual depictions and stuff like that. That's also a point of contention going on right now too, is a lot of people are not happy with the fact that in this universe, Supergirl goes to planets with red suns so that she can get drunk.
Someone else on X said that the CBFC would allow horrific scenes of violence and SA in a certified film that kids are freely allowed to watch, but won't allow consensual kissing in a comic book movie that kids should watch under adult supervision. I don't know what example they're referring to there. The recurring pattern has reignited debate over freedom of expression and the broad powers under the Cinematograph Act.
I remember like one time we were on the show, I was like, is cinematographically a word?
Cinematograph Act. The CBFC's certification guidelines enshrine freedom of speech and expression, but these rights are subject to, quote, reasonable restrictions on various grounds, including decency and morality.
Look, I still remember in Batman vs. Superman when you had to look at Ben Affleck's bare ass in the shower, and I'm like, really?
Is that necessary?
Was that necessary in this movie?
I don't like that.
Like, is that dark and edgy?
Did women like that?
I don't think a lot of women cared about Batman vs. Superman.
You know what? I understand that this is like an overreach. This is censorship to an excessive degree, but I do wish that we had similar standards in the Western film industries about obscenity. I think that obscenity laws should definitely make a comeback. We still have the FTC, of course, but I don't think it should be acceptable for graphic sex scenes to be in movies and TV shows.
I mean, what's an example in recent years of like a movie? Like TV, it happens a lot, right? Like they don't have the same standards. Everything is HBO now because it's all streaming services. Like, I can't think of
I don't think Florence Pugh's tits should be in Oppenheimer.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't think that those scenes were necessary.
I don't think so either. Like, I didn't, when I watched it, I was like, did that need to be in there?
And you can come up with a rationalization for anything. You can come up with an explanation for why those sex scenes with Florence Pugh were necessary, because it's communicating Oppenheimer's existential dread when he's getting interrogated and it makes him feel vulnerable, whatever. You can come up with an explanation and justification for anything.
Saltburn had graphic sex stuff in it, I think.
Very, very graphic stuff. Yes. If I see that, I look up parents' guides for things before I watch anything new, and because I don't want to expose myself to that stuff. And I will just completely opt out of watching something that I was initially interested in if I see on IMDb that there's graphic sexual content.
I've given you examples of television shows where I thought they might have earned the scene very rarely.
Some more than others, of course.
But for the most part, I've never felt like it needed to be there.
I think that's how the vast majority of people feel.
Like, I
think that Hollywood studios are pushing it without any genuine interest or demand for it, like, which I find more sinister.
There's I was watching a GoldenEye retrospective recently, and the guy doing this, he does great videos. I forget his name off the top of my head. His whole channel is James Bond, and he was talking about the Famke Janssen sex scene in GoldenEye, and he was like, it was always a convenient time in the movie for me to leave the room with my parents and go get something from the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what that ends up being, right? It just makes it awkward.
It even feels awkward when you're watching something alone.
Yeah.
Like, I would still skip. Another reply that made me laugh said, you can see who James Gunn's target audience is, and it's people with no kind of impulse control. They'd rather interject their sick-ass fantasies into a PG-13 movie.
This is the thing, though. We just had that whole discussion, right, about we don't think it's necessary, but I read that and I'm like, bro, come on.
Well, of course they're overreacting because we're talking about kissing scenes. If we were talking about an actual sex scene in the new Superman movie, I would probably agree that that's taking it too far.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't even, and the other thing is, like, it ends up becoming like a weird Streisand effect. Like, I don't even remember these scenes Now they're talking about it. Now people will remember them.
They also went further and said, I see from you and countless other shills defending James Gunn, targeting a child audience with obviously adult dynamics and themes.
By the way, the fact that they call them gun bots and not gun nuts is a huge lost opportunity in the world of marketing for your stan cause. If you're a Snyder bro and you don't like gun, you shouldn't be calling them gun bots. You should be calling them gun nuts.
Well, honestly, if you are deeply offended by the kiss scenes in Superman or any mild, tame kissing scenes in any movie, you should probably go to horny jail. It says more about you and your mindset if you find that to be just beyond the pale than anyone else.
Like, if you look at it, just Superman in this movie, Doc Martens really get him going, and he can't help himself. He sees Lois in those Doc Martens, and he's like, let's go. Time to make Kryptonian love.
That's the part that I think should have been censored. They should have censored her Doc Martens.
Maybe that's what I should do.
Or CGI replaced them with stilettos.
I just did like a short, I don't think it's out yet, about the top 5 ways they could bring back Helen and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Maybe I'll do like the top 5 things Clark clearly loves about Lois Lane, and number 1 can be Doc Martens and like a loose vest. Right, that's what he loves about her. It's it's not her anti-interventionist stance, obviously.
To me, it feels like a shame because Rachel Brosnahan is such a beauty, and I don't think she deserved to be dressed like a lesbian.
Well, that was the comment people were making. So both Isabella Merced and Rachel Brosnahan's outfits from the premieres were far more revealing than anything that was shown
all
in the
the
movie.
Premieres, all the red carpets, all the photo shoots, she's wearing sexy attire, and in the movie, she looks butch.
In the chat, somebody says, are Doc Martens still a thing? I don't think she was actually wearing Doc Martens, but they were clunky looking.
Pretty close.
Like Doc Martens. So.
Yeah, close enough.
All right, let's move on.
It's been a minute since we checked in on Britney Spears, but let's do a little wellness check right now. She just posted on Instagram hinting to her followers that not only has she adopted an infant daughter, she's also moving to Italy. I don't know what to make of this, but do you have the Instagram post where she's twirling in her living room as she always does, and this is just normal content for Britney's Instagram, of course, nothing surprising there, but she captioned it saying, I haven't worked out in years, so I put this little pink one piece on and played. How are you beautiful people this morning? I need coffee. Coffee emoji. And I want to let you guys know I adopted a beautiful baby girl. Winky face emoji, winky face emoji, winky face emoji. Her name is Lennon London Spears. Wonder what the inspiration was for that. This is 30 seconds of my random silly workout. I hate working out, but 3 hours of my footage was all stolen. It kind of hurt my stomach to see it disappear because, well, I sweat my ass off and had a white jacket on. Lennon today has on an adorable dress. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. It says, I'm new here, so please stop talking trash, America. I've decided to move to Italy. Winky face, winky face, winky face, winky face. So there's a little bit of a cheeky undertone in the caption. Some people thought she was joking, but we don't know how to make sense of anything that Britney Spears says in 2025. And there were even some people I saw celebrating this, thinking that it was true. There's no reason to know one way or the other, but one person said that's perfect for her. She actually needs a daughter at this point. The vast majority of responses, though, were saying, obviously, Britney Spears in this day and age is not suitable to be a parent, and I figured they would only approve this because she's rich, right? And another one said, you guys clearly haven't seen how she parents her own kids. She is, by the way, a mother of 2 sons who are now adults. She's actually probably doing a great job, believe it or not. Watch the crazy spinning stop when she has a purpose again. So they think her having a new baby would actually fix her mental state.
You can't do that.
And she would become stable again.
You can't do that.
As a result.
Look, no.
No, that's not how that works.
The thing is, guys, is like, we kind of made that joke that Justin Bieber should go back on tour because having, idle hands are the devil's plaything. You should be out working and it'll keep you focused. You shouldn't, just like bad couples shouldn't have kids to fix the marriage. You know, people who are not doing well. I don't want to call her crazy, but crazy people shouldn't. You know, she has enough money and resources that she can live on her own. She doesn't need to be in an asylum. But there is a long gap between doesn't need to be in an asylum and being a parent.
Definitely.
There's like a bunch of steps in between there. And she's closer to here than she is to here.
And she only just reconnected with her teenage son,
who I'm
Jaden,
sure just wanted to make sure
18.
that they could still get money from her.
I bet, but I also wouldn't blame her kids for being self-interested, knowing that she's totally off her rocker.
Yeah.
They might as well try to have some sort of relationship with her, that whatever is possible at this point. It is sad when you look into the backstory of her relationship with her kids and everything that went down. I believe that one of the reasons she shaved her head was because they were threatening to drug test her, and they were going to use her hair for the drug test. So she shaved her head because of that. But other people say, including her in her own memoir, said that she shaved her head as some kind of form of protest against the media for celebrating her for her looks. It's difficult to decipher. She did have her kids taken away from her, and I think there were some aspects of that were unfair. And obviously the people who were her handlers, her conservators for years, were not doing anything to help her rehabilitate herself mentally or physically. They were allegedly forcing her to take antipsychotic drugs, forcing her to work when she was unfit to work during her Las Vegas residency. So there's a certain point you reach where your mental is just not recoverable. And I think that's where she got to get to current day. I think that she's not really going to be able to return to her former self. But TMZ says there's nothing to worry about because they have confirmed this is not true. They say Britney Spears is not a new mother to a baby girl or a puppy, despite what she is telling folks on social media. Britney raised eyebrows when she posted another dance video on Instagram and dropped this nugget in the caption about Lennon London Spears. But sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ she did not adopt a child and she's just messing with people, hence the winky face emojis in her caption. Fans speculated.
I hate tone indicators, so she should have left those off.
Fans also speculated that Britney may have been talking about a fur baby in her post, but we're told that she didn't adopt a dog either. As for eagle-eyed followers catching on to the baby carrier in the background of a recent Britney Instagram dance video, sources say she uses the baby carrier to transport her baby dolls that she sometimes travels with. So I don't know what's more worrying, the idea that she is in the care of an actual child or that she is traveling around the world with lifelike baby dolls.
See,
both are worrying enough.
This is how revolutions start, because some employee who works for some taxi some limo service or airport sees rich person traveling with a fake child in a stroller and is just like, you know what? We need a revolution. The rich are too rich and insane. It's time to take this country back.
Yeah. I just can't imagine what they're thinking in TSA.
You only succeed as a celebrity. You only succeed as a celebrity who's eccentric if people like you. The second people stop liking you, you're not eccentric anymore. You're weird and dangerous.
Well, they say poor people are crazy, rich people are eccentric. I guess Britney Spears is an exception to that rule because, of course, she is mega wealthy and she gets called crazy all the time, and I don't think that's totally off base for people to say. We've talked about this community of women who collect lifelike baby dolls. A lot of them have trauma from miscarriages or infant loss, and I understand why that appeals to them, but I don't think it's a good coping mechanism. I think Britney is probably collecting these baby dolls because she has issues about losing her relationships with her children in real life. And maybe this is some sort of coping mechanism for her, but I would say it's a self-destructive one. And it's not going to help her case if she ever did want to adopt in the future.
I don't think she wants to.
I hope not. I
don't
really
think she
hope
wants
not.
to.
I don't think if she tried that they would allow her to, but you never know. I mean, if you use a surrogate, you don't need to pass any regulatory tests. You
Yeah.
just need to pay a certain price. So if she really wanted a baby, she could get one.
She's there's to me something comforting about her brand of crazy, which is so devoid of like current year that I appreciate it in a strange way. It's a comforting thing to come back to that Britney's still crazy in her crazy Britney way.
I just want to know who these sources with direct knowledge are. Like, who are these people that are hanging out with Britney these days?
The person
She
who
has
sets
friends?
up the person who sets up her tripod.
Is it her employees? Like, I know she probably has a team of employees that do random bullshit for her.
Yeah.
Are they the ones that are feeding stories and information to the media,
They
dispelling
have
these
to be, right?
rumors?
I mean, you'd think at a certain point, depending on how much money you have, the circle of people would be small enough that you'd be able to pinpoint who it would be that's leaking this information. Like, she can't have 20 employees, right? She's got like 3 or 4 that do things regularly for her. Be like, hey, have any of you guys been like dumping on me to TMZ? I don't like that. That's rude.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Just like this guy here, I'm picturing being this guy who's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
So you can see the baby doll in the photo. Like what is that?
Like, this dude has to just be like, bro, I have a real family. What am I doing right now?
They should have invited Britney to the Bezos wedding.
She would have
That
been
would have been incredible.
She
She would have fit right in.
She would have fit right in there.
Yeah.
With all of them. But Britney, we're gonna need you to scale it back. I do, however, think that her kids are probably not the most well-intentioned, or at the very least, you know, it's a mixture of the two. Sure, they might like reconnecting with their mom, but at the same time, there's definitely a financial incentive to doing so.
Again, I don't blame them, and I think a lot of the Britney fans are unnecessarily cruel to her sons who don't have any say in the matter.
All right. Let's move on.
A viral tweet has just sparked a massive debate about Gen Z's lack of phone etiquette. So apparently, when Gen Z picks up a phone call, they just don't say hello. They wait for the other person to start talking, and then they respond, which I find completely preposterous. I've never done that as a Zoomer myself, but here was the tweet that started this whole controversy. I'm a recruiter, so I do a ton of phone interviews, and something I've noticed about Gen Z specifically is that a lot of them answer the phone and don't say anything. Like, I can hear their breathing and the background noise, but they wait for you to say hello first.
So they do the hello.
You know, they just wait for you. For clarification, the candidates have self-scheduled these calls, and I'm calling at the exact time that they chose, and also received a reminder email about an hour beforehand. They also have my number ahead of time, so they know who's calling.
Like, literally every step to prevent people from doing the thing where they see a number they don't recognize and don't pick up.
For the record, I don't hold this against anyone. You should. And it doesn't impact whether or not I recommend them to a hiring manager. It should impact your decision.
It should at least be a footnote in
just
like
an observation. Yeah, especially if they're applying for any customer service related job. This should definitely count against them. And she said, apparently I need to add that I'm an internal recruiter, not a headhunter. I do not work off commission. I'm strictly salary, goodness gracious. A lot of people, especially Zoomers in her replies, were clapping back and saying that she's coming up with random reasons not to hire people and she's being vindictive, but they're just coming up with excuses for their own lack of etiquette. But some of these replies are truly mind-blowing. Like, there are a lot of people, not just Gen Z, who operate this way, and they think that this is normal. Some people were blaming it on the prevalence of scam calls, but as she clarified, they know that it's not a scam call. Yep. They schedule it ahead of time. They know that they're expecting to hear from someone. But there are also people saying it's fine for Gen Z to change phone etiquette because technology is changing, the times are changing.
No, they're wrong.
This is fine.
We need to prevent stuff from changing all the time.
One of the replies said, "Isn't it a universal law that the person who's doing the calling should be the one to say hello?" What planet are you
It's
from?
like when we talked about the Gen Z stare, where like somebody will come into a restaurant and the host hostess is like,
They just look at you blankly.
like there is a society is held together by these little interactions we have every day in our daily lives, and changing them is ridiculously stupid and antithetical to a working society. Some things have to stay the same.
Well, ordinarily when etiquette standards change, they change so slowly that nobody finds it jarring or even notices. This is a totally different scenario, and I just cannot believe there are this many people replying saying that this is the way that they conduct themselves. It's obviously not because of scam calls. It's because Gen Z is socially inept and people are being too polite to say so. They say etiquette is changing in this opinion piece from Business Insider. The other reason people are avoiding the hello seems to be a generational difference in etiquette. Some young people believe that if you're the one who is calling, you should initiate the conversation. If that makes your blood pressure start to rise, let's take a deep breath together and try to think about this kindly, because we need to treat them with kid gloves. Are young people hopelessly adrift in society, untethered from being capable of the most basic elements of communication? Is this perhaps related to the so-called Gen Z stare, where young people in customer service situations blankly stare back at you or avoid eye contact wordlessly? I'm not saying it's not that. I think that saying hello when you answer the phone is normal, commonly accepted social etiquette, and not doing it can be slightly confusing for a caller, but just because something used to be a common etiquette doesn't mean it has to stay that way.
Yes, it does.
The telephone is
Yes,
a
it
relatively recent invention in the history of human communication, as is the word hello. This is actually true. So the word hello is a lot more recent than people believe it to be. Initially, when Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, he presented the idea of opening a call with ahoy, which was not popularly adopted. And then Thomas Edison was the one who popularized hello as the greeting from the person receiving the call. And has been the case for obviously long over a century now. So this is a very sudden change that's taking place.
I urge every one of you to ignore any explanation like this. What this is the fate of everyone going to college. And just because you can verbalize some bullshit reason something might or should change doesn't make it right. No. And this is just a consequence of a bunch of people being overly educated with no common sense or decency for other people. And just because something sounds good doesn't mean that it is good. I urge everyone to, if somebody was to actually say this to you, I reject your premise, you're wrong, and then move on about you. In fact, you should laugh at them.
Another BS response to this that absolves Gen Z of their responsibility says it's due to AirPods that don't connect quick enough, and the first hello is always lost, but it doesn't seem like people realize it. That's not true. Okay,
I mean, it's at least interesting, because that does happen to me when I answer the phone. It doesn't change your obligation.
Well, then you repeat yourself.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
It's not going to change the entire mode of communication. And
it's
they end saying, just because it has been the etiquette to say hello when you answer the phone doesn't mean it has to be that way forever.
Yes, it does.
The technology of phones has changed completely. Why shouldn't the rules change with it?
Here's the thing. The only way I allow you to change this is you have to go into a position like law enforcement or the feds, or a doctor, so you can answer the phone with your last name.
Morgan.
Like that's it. Also, it's a TV trope to just hang up.
Yes.
To not say goodbye.
Yeah, I bet like Gen Z might think that saying goodbye after a phone call is no longer a rule of social etiquette because they've absorbed so much about communication from TV shows.
Like, imagine if you're not like a cop or a doctor or somebody in a position of power and you just answer your phone with Morgan.
You know, I don't understand this, but Zoomers are obsessed with FaceTime calls. I don't get it. I hate FaceTiming. I never understood the appeal. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the sell is that you're able to see someone's facial reactions to what you're saying, and it feels more personal, but I always thought it was weird that Zoomer couples especially are obsessed with like falling asleep on a FaceTime call. Like that's something that they romanticize and they think it's really cute. I think it's weird. Pop Culture Junkie said, You have transported me back to Mrs. Harcum's 3rd grade class where we spent an entire afternoon talking about phone etiquette and who says hello first, in addition to how to introduce people to other people. Yeah, these are very basic things that I assumed used to be taught or didn't need to be taught to young people.
The issue with this
was never told explicitly, you're the one who's supposed to say hello. You just observe that. You know,
we live in a society that's so simple, like so easy now, where yes, there are all sorts of problems, but your daily life is so regimented and normal now that they have to make up things to have issues with. I know that that's a simplistic take, but you know, when we were going to war, you didn't worry about who said hello first on the phone call.
I think this is because Gen Z feels anxiety about being reachable at all times, and I understand that. The smartphone, taking it with you everywhere you go, people do try to reach you at all times of the day. They feel entitled to your response at all times. You're expected to be available at all times. This is probably one of the reasons why Gen Z puts such a strong emphasis on work-life balance,
happens when they talk
work
about...
used to be at work and home used to be home. Those lines have been blurred because of technology, but that doesn't excuse what they're doing. And the millennial version of this actually is that they notoriously don't answer the door when someone rings their doorbell or knocks on the door. They literally don't answer their front doors. And people have talked about this. This is the millennial version of not saying hello first.
That was never a thing for me.
I mean, I think it's because of the fact that people have mass adopted Ring cameras, and you like, it's sort of like having a Ring camera on your front door is the same thing as caller ID, but for your home.
Millennials also had a problem with answering the phone, and my pet argument for that was student loan debt. They didn't want to answer the guy calling to tell them that they just were sick of hearing about how this is so-and-so and you have an outstanding balance of this much on your student loans. So they just got used to not answering the phone.
I get spam calls and spam texts constantly, and it's probably because I put myself on these lists. I just am obsessed with answering scam calls and wasting their time for fun.
Chat,
so they have me on all the lists.
If there are millennials in the chat, and I know there are a lot of millennials in the chat, let me know if you know of anybody that had a problem answering the door, because that was just never a thing for me or anybody that I knew. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I had a particularly social group of people, but I never had problems answering the door.
Gen Z just feels attacked at all times. Like, I feel like they feel attacked by phone calls. They feel attacked by customers. They feel like they're a victim of capitalism when they have a retail job or a job at a restaurant or something. And if you're a customer there, you're one of the people who is oppressing them, which is insane, obviously. But I think that's where the Gen Z gaze or Gen Z stare comes from.
I'm just sick of everything. Everything's been we're trying to normalize everything, and we're trying to then change every cultural and social norm. And then we're like, why is everybody so fragmented? Why does the world feel so wavy beneath our feet? Why does nothing feel solid anymore? Because the idea of answering the phone has become a weirdly politicized topic where people have to discuss whether we've been doing it right this whole time.
It's about a power dynamic. The person who's calling is the one who has more power in this situation, so they have to take the burden of saying hello.
I'm over it. Let's move on. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see cute first.
All right, cute of the day. Here we go. I was going to move this one, but I decided to give him a pass. Here you go, Pat the plumber. 1 minute. Miss Fury is adorable. Next, she's giving me the Roman salute.
Oh, well, we can't blame her for that.
She's very adorable.
Very cute mittens.
And here she is.
No, she's just waving.
She's saying hello.
She's
saying hello.
Gen Z isn't capable of that. But
so
we did almost boot you because of your complaint yesterday.
So last night, at it was 3 a.m, and I was not even Photoshop. I was Instagram photoshopping pictures of all our cats on various objects and sending them to Olivia on text as she's next to me. It's it was Bucket, the local cat Bucket on a bucket. It was Toast on toast. It was
She's like a little pat of butter.
It was Dusty on a crop duster airplane and various such things. So that's what I do at 3 a.m. That's why I'm always so tired when I get to work, because I don't go to bed at a normal time.
No, that was important.
It was very important. All right, let's do cringe of the day. This says, never using Hinge again.
This is a debate that we have on the show.
This place is so cool. Do you want to sit next to me? I feel like sitting across is so formal. Yeah.
Yeah, they're leaving.
Just
They're
walk
like,
out.
yeah. I mean, what would have been better? What if he's like got up on it on his feet and
You know
walked
what?
across?
I'll admit, I still love
This is so cool.
walking upstairs on all fours.
Like this.
Yeah.
My dad used to joke, because I would trip going up or down stairs all the time. He's like, how is it you can grind down 20 stair hand railings, but you can't walk up or down them without falling? And I'm like, it's the carpet. We have carpeted stairs. It's the stairs' fault. It's not
Right.
mine. All right. I mean, that looks like a skit to
Yeah.
me, but you know, it is what it is. All right, let's move on.
HBO's forthcoming Harry Potter series has officially gone into production in the UK, and they have now offered audiences some hype with first looks at the cast in costume, particularly the titular Harry Potter actor Dominic McLaughlin in costume with the glasses and the scar on his forehead. And, you know, I never, when I first saw the photo without context, thought that people would respond to this with so much backlash and negativity. I didn't think that the kid looked that bad. I thought they did a pretty good job. But now, of course, as you would expect, people are cyberbullying a child, and it's not great to see.
No, and here's the thing. I when we were making the thumbnails for this, I'm like, we need to include the word already, because it literally, this was like
There was
the first
no-
official set photo.
Yeah.
There was no waiting. There was no like bad trailer where then a bunch of adults were going to take it out on a child, which
Nope.
wouldn't have been his fault.
They're like blaming this kid for the fact that they race swapped Snape. One other reason among many why they should not have race swapped Snape. But the kid obviously doesn't deserve the hate for the bad decisions of the adults in charge of this series. They've also set a tentative release in 2027, but not anything more specific than that. They're going to be going into production, or I'm sorry, finishing production of the first season in spring 2026, and then taking a very short break, going straight into season 2.
They are literally racing against the clock to get this show done. Like, for instance, like Stranger Things is about to come to an end, and
insane.
they all look like they're
It's
40.
been 10 years,
10 years.
dude.
So like somebody
No excuse for that.
Somebody pointed out the other day that the X-Files finished its run after like 9 years and X amount of months with 100 and something episodes, and that, or almost 200 episodes or something like that, and that Stranger Things has been making it for the same amount of time with 42 episodes.
Well, we were just joking that we better find out this kid is paid handsomely for the role.
better be.
Because there is nothing that could be worth him seeing these comments. I mean, one of them was relatively inoffensive. All the talented black child actors to choose from, and they settled for this. Unbelievable, the racism. But I was mostly shocked at the fact that he looks so different from his headshot that was initially shared with us.
Here is the.
They said, what did they do to him? Is this the same kid? He does look very different in costume.
What they're doing is they're giving him the Harry Potter, like the quintessential messy hair,
Right.
With the modern.
But he
photo.
almost looks like a different person. Like his facial structure looks different in the new
It's got to
photo.
be some contouring makeup.
I don't know. And then they were also comparing him to, I believe that's the costume designer in The Incredibles, Edna, and saying that he looks like Rachel Maddow as well. Do you have that one? Yeah, that was one of the replies. Why does he look like a middle-aged woman? Why does he look like a 40-year-old lesbian? These are real comments that people are sharing about a child.
People talk about the Baron Trump villain origin story, and this is going to be no different.
This kid is not prepared for the backlash that's about
I mean,
to come to
if
him.
his parents are smart, they just won't give him a cell phone.
I
And he
really
will
hope
get-
so.
Like,
but
and they will be on set every day, making sure nobody shows him anything on the internet. He should be kept blissfully unaware of all.
and
of this stuff.
homeschooled.
I
Just
mean,
get through.
he's gonna be
Just
homeschooled.
get through the 7 seasons and then put it all behind you and live off of those paychecks for the rest of your life. Just fade into obscurity. That's the best way to go about this.
It is.
They also shared the first image of Nick Frost as Hagrid in the TV series.
Yeah, he's
And
giving.
it's not great.
It's Ozempic Hagrid.
Yeah, they
It
said,
is.
damn, why did they put Hagrid on Ozempic? But then other people were saying that he should be losing weight for the role, which is
no.
bizarre. He just looks too clean. He looks too put together in this. Like, he just looks like an accountant that they put in a wig,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then we also...
I mean, it looks like he's in stage 1 of the makeup for some type of like Castaway remake, and they just haven't done the dirt on his face yet.
Yeah, if you have a critique of like the costuming, if you think that they chose the wrong glasses, or if you think they did a bad job with makeup or hairstyling, fine, like offer criticism for that. But why are people deciding that they should just bully a child?
I do have criticism of that, which is that the eyes look blue to me.
Well,
which
they
means
are
they're
blue.
probably going to be fixing it in post. No way they let that one slide after everybody got annoyed that they didn't make his eyes green in the movies.
The precedent is that they're not going to edit it.
I bet
so
you they do this time.
just to get ahead of those.
Yeah.
I mean, if you race swap Snape, you clearly don't care that much about the book accuracy. Like, I don't think that they really are concerned with that. If they were planning to edit the kid's eye color, they would
I
have
think
done
they
so
will.
in the headshot.
No, I maybe, but I think that they. You know what? We should start taking bets now. Will the eye color be green in the initial trailer for season 1? We'll have to wait and see.
Because if you already race swapped Snape, they don't care. And people were also commenting about the new Hermione actress who isn't white. I think that's all we know about her. I don't know her ethnicity, but she doesn't look like a white girl. So she was also getting lumped into the conversation about the race swap. We do have a first look at Black Snape.
Yes, we do.
This is exciting. A first sneak peek of the series.
Yo, Potter, what you mean you ain't even know what a bizarre is, gangster? 50 points from Gryffindor. Sheet. Yo.
Great stuff.
He like look, with how biased McGonagall is, that's perfectly fine. Potter deserves to have the points taken from him because McGonagall is super biased towards him. So I'm okay with Snape taking 50 points.
It's just sad that we all knew this was going to happen.
Oh.
Like, we all knew that the kids were going to be the first ones to get the brunt of negativity instead of J.K. Rowling, instead of Papa Essiadu, instead of the directors and HBO. The kids are going to be targeted first and foremost, and the press is not going to treat them kindly. If I can guess from here, my prediction is that they're going to be faced with an onslaught of questions about the writer of the franchise, you know?
At this point, it doesn't even matter what that's like because if the media does it, because when you think about it, the internet stuff's going to be worse. Like, however much the media does to him, you can't be.
I think it's 1 in 4 children have their own smartphone by the time they turn 8 years old at this point. So, while I would like to think these stage parents are smarter than to allow their kids access to social media where people are tearing them apart, in all likelihood, these kids are going to be exposed to the commentary, and
It's
that
going
can't
to.
be a
It's
good
going to
thing for their
cause
development.
It's going to cause at least some self-esteem issues
Yes.
in all of them. There's no way around it. Like,
Yeah.
people take jabs at us on this show, and that can be cutting if you don't learn how to just tune it
Yeah.
out and tell everyone that that you don't care.
And
that's us as full adults, being in your formative years, not being fully developed, not having a full sense of who you are, with like the ego that will, at this point, if they develop huge egos because they get these roles and it's extremely successful, I welcome it because it's the only thing, it's the only weapon they're gonna have against the backlash that's gonna come from
Right.
people that have no decorum.
And that's just us being in the age of social media. That's to say nothing of the existing pressures of just being a child star in general. Amanda Bynes, of course, was a child star long before mass adopted social media where people would have been cyberbullying her if they had the chance, and she still lost her mind because of paparazzi and tabloids. And, of course, being at the mercy of adult executives who are expecting a lot of these kids.
Yeah, there's
incredibly
a lot,
hard work.
There's a lot put on the back. I just read this story the other day of like Emily Deschanel saying like she got a talking to during like the first few episodes of Bones when the show started, because the scientific lingo was so hard to get that she would come to set and not know how to pronounce anything because it would be like impossible to do. And she was like basically talking as an adult, talking about how it was like she was like having a breakdown because she couldn't figure it out. She couldn't get it. And that's an adult, right? That's a fully grown adult who should be emotionally capable of taking whatever role is given to her because this is what she signed up for. Who knows if these kids even signed up for this?
No. I mean, of course, as kids, they don't have the ability to understand what they're signing up for. And this is why people question the ethics of putting kids in TV shows and movies in general. What if one of these kids hints to their parents or their agents that they don't want to continue for the next 7-8 years filming this show? They don't have the option, because what are they going to say? What are their parents going to say? Well, you really have to think about it really hard, sweetie, and what this means for our family, and what this means for your future and your opportunities, and whether you can afford college. They just go down the list, and the kid obviously doesn't have the ability to make the decision for themselves.
Yeah. All right, let's do some super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett and Mary. Mary understood the assignment yesterday, so I was able to drop the Brett and Mary morning drive show video today."
I did have tacos yesterday. I'm going to have tacos again today.
Nice. The leftover tacos.
I love the leftover tacos.
I think I was saying off air, I'm not really a leftover taco.
You're like I eat all
girl.
6 at once.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
said
a
I'm
3
6
today,
taco.
3 tomorrow girl. I'm a 6 today girl.
In the chat, somebody said Black Voldemort when. That would be a weird twist if they made Snape and Voldemort.
It's got to be
both.
Cillian Murphy, in my opinion.
So in blackface.
I don't even want to think about that.
Don't do it.
Weary Traveler said, IMO, a tank top is more sleazy and slouchy than indecent. Sleazy? Sleazy definitely sounds indecent. Genghis Khan of Gongolia said,
I've never been there.
"So I can see every bit of Sydney Sweeney on HBO, but Superman kissing his girlfriend is too sensual?"
Well,
Correct.
I don't think that India's like certification board was necessarily, they probably just don't have that over there at HBO Max in India.
They were just going to see Superman in theaters, and all the Indian men were hoping that Rachel Brosnahan would open Bob. And she didn't.
Monkey Jeebus in the chat says, Brett be watching shows that were canceled 15 years ago. Yeah, bro. I just restarted the following.
What about it?
I just restarted the following on Amazon Prime. My favorite thing to do is to look at what old shows end up on the streaming services after they've kind of had their heyday. Because I imagine that like with the forgotten ones, they kind of get them for a song. They don't pay a whole lot to license them if they've just been kind of sitting around in obscurity for a period of time.
Shane H. Wilder said, Mary wants to bring back the National Legion of Decency, aka Catholic Legion of Decency, to rate movies. Honestly, I'm fine with that. Well, it was the FTC. The FTC was the Legion of Decency, and at that time, married couples couldn't even be shown as having the same bed in their own bedroom on TV.
That is
and how
scandalous.
far we have fallen since then as a culture, right?
Let's hold off on the rest and we will come back. Let's move
All
on.
right.
This one's gonna be a rough one for some of you, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My Chemical Romance has reunited, and they are on an ongoing 2025 tour at the moment. And a lot of their millennial fans are unhappy with the results and are threatening to sell their tickets because of the band putting on a bunch of woke politicized stunts on stage. Per the Mirror, fans are threatening to sell their tickets after MCR's first performance on the Long Live the Black Parade tour. Fans cited politically charged theatrics, which found political candidates executed on stage, deeming it woke, not only woke, but also weird and demonic. This was one of the comments on Facebook.
I'm sorry, but when you use that word, that's a very, very good way to get normies to tune out of your racism. Like as soon as you start using, and I understand, but the second you start using the word demonic, normies, their eyes glaze over and they're like, okay, so you're
well, this isn't demonic. This is just pretentious art nerd BS. Yeah. They also started before the tour issuing a bunch of arbitrary rules for their fans, including the first rule, mocking crowds at graduation ceremonies, saying families of 4 and under are expected to applaud for 30 seconds at a time only. Any family or gathering of 5 or more members can only snap fingers and hoot. Clapping or hollering of any kind is strictly prohibited. They also have prohibited no weapons, dental tools, or otherwise. They said, please do not throw hair. Fight only when fought upon. Non-combat is discouraged in all areas. No touching. All feet must be covered from sight with foot coverings of some kind. Fun having is mandatory. Mandatory fun is healthy for the mind. No time for bad times unless timing is bad, whereas make time feel worse, and so forth and so on. Give more than you have. Take what has been given only. And the last rule, only sing along when unsure of the correct lyrics. So they started this off with really just like pretentious
LOL,
art shit.
So random.
Like I'm already short on patience having read these stupid rules that they came up with. And they followed this up in their live performances by performing an experiment, which is called a practice of democracy, according to Gerard Way. So they give out these signs in the stadium to their fans, which say yay or nay on each side. And they explain that they're going to conduct an election as some kind of, commentary on democracy and the political system. I have a video of them conducting the election, which a lot of people really loved. I thought this was really incredibly clever. So let's take a look.
The Instagram link?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, gosh.
An experiment, maybe a practice of democracy. When you came in, you got a sign. Yes, you got a sign. One side says yay. The other...
I can see your bald spot. It's not...
Bro is subscribed to AARP magazine.
Side says nay.
They're loving it.
What we're gonna do here is have an election.
This is weird voice that he's doing.
Like, bro, sing the song.
Just sing the damn song.
This is like the music version of just put the fries in the bag.
Literally.
Pay attention to the big red round circle in the center. You'll see our 4 candidates
so they
for
have
election.
A public execution you're about to see.
You will get a chance to vote them in or out of office. Seattle, are you ready? Now, who rejects these individuals and does not want to elect them, say nay. Up, all around. Let me see the black if you disagree. Now I need to hear you. I don't know. We have one more try. There's only one more color. And that's yay! Who would love to elect these individuals? Let me hear you. All together, yays and nays, up at the same time. Yay and boo! Let me hear you. There's a lot of fucking ready. Let's go! Roll!
So exciting.
Ready? Set. Fight! Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. So that's the big election stunt. And I knew as soon as My Chemical Romance posted the promo video for this reunion tour that it was going to include some woke posturing against Trump, because there are all of these quasi Fourth Reich aesthetics that they're adopting into the set. Just you can see by the weird symbol that's on the podium in front of Gerard Way that they're trying to hint at something like this is a form of artistic protest against the right being in power in America. And some of the comments were truly a trip. One said, "I love whatever is wrong with him." Another one said, "He reminds me so much of Heath Ledger's Joker. I'm so excited for Philly." Another one said the political commentary throughout this performance was freaking amazing, and I have so much respect for everyone who worked on it.
To be fair, that if there was like some right-wing singer who did something like this, it would be even more cringe.
Another one that I agree with said MCR doing role-play theater kid shit is a recession indicator. I don't know why, but that's kind of directionally correct. And so there has been a bifurcation in the My Chemical Romance fan base between the millennials who liked this band as teenagers back when they were cool, and the Zoomers who like this band because of what it represents to them, the kind of community that has been formed around it, which is largely made up of leftists. And all of the Zoomers are speaking out saying, "How dare you call MCR woke? They've always been woke. You're new here. You must be a new fan." They're saying this to people who have liked the band for over a decade, by the way.
Well, then why is it like, why how dare?
This one said, yeah, so if you're deeply disappointed by the woke agenda of My Chemical Romance, please give me your tickets. I would be happy to endure this on your behalf. Another one said the amount of people who went to the first stop of the My Chemical Romance tour complaining that they've become woke and the show was propaganda. Are you new here? Have you not listened to the Black Parade album?
Well, okay, so actually
and the lore and the
is,
theatrical shows. This is why I was saying I hate when music has lore, because this is what I'm referring to. This corny shit.
Beyond just okay, so that's actually a good point to hit on there, which is that the beauty of well-done art is that you can have a message like this and it can be layered into the music. It can be layered into the production, and it can be shown in a way that is palatable to everyone, because not everybody, for instance, like when I listen to music, it's not often about the lyrics, because being partially deaf means I only hear part of the lyrics half the time anyways. Music is a lot more about presentation and arrangement than it is necessarily about the lyrics themselves. So it's about how artful your messaging is. The lyrics of a song intertwined with a well-done production can be elegant. This, what we just watched, was anything but elegant. And that's probably more what they're talking about than they are about the actual messaging themselves. They're talking about the inartful way in which you put across your very theater kid opinion. And I would have the same take if it was like, I don't know, who's a right-wing musician?
Ariel Pink.
Okay, like if
know.
Ariel, I don't know. I mean, I know who that is.
Came to mind.
If Ariel Pink did a mock election, I would also find it cringe.
Right.
But I don't think I don't know if Ariel Pink would do that.
We have a 20 from 7, Pastor B. What in the flesh hell? Unhinged theater kid with a microphone. I have ultra woke fatigue. This is how most of the millennial fans who have liked this band from the beginning are feeling right now. They're not interested in attending this tour if it means they have to watch stupid political performance art instead of listening to the songs that they loved. The main argument for the young fans saying MCR has always been woke is that they do gay stuff together on stage. Do you have that visual for us? There's one of
Wait, which one was it?
From Amelia on Twitter. They turned My Chemical Romance woke.
No, I don't have that one.
It's this link here.
Okay. All right, here we go.
And they have, you know, kissed each other or licked each other on stage at different times throughout the years. And this is their argument for MCR having been woke and earned their woke bona fides before it was cool. And then another one said, My Chemical Romance is woke? I can't believe it. The band full of gay people is woke? So shocking. They're referring to a bunch of straight married men, men who are married to women who have families. They're not gay. Like, there's nothing about these men that is gay. You cannot describe them as gay. They are all married to women and have children with those women and have been for a long time. Every last one of them. Yeah. So I don't know where they got the idea that these people are gay, but it is true, though, that Gerard Way has been woke for a long time, maybe before the word woke was in the popular lexicon, because in an interview about the initial breakup of My Chemical Romance in 2012, he said they felt the band wasn't needed anymore because Barack Obama was in power.
That is crazy work.
I rest my case. So you're saying the excuse for the band breaking up in 2012 is that you weren't needed anymore because the left was in power, even though Obama had been in office for several years,
and we were
at that
still
point.
and we were still at war in foreign countries. We were drone striking foreign countries. The country was just as bad as it was under Bush.
Yeah.
But sure, why not?
And as recently as I think this interview from 2019, Gerard Way was saying, you know, it's nice and flattering that everyone wants us to get back together and tour again, but I don't think it's going to happen. We're just has-beens. We're washed up. You know, I don't know what changed their mind, but when people heard about a My Chemical Romance reunion tour, they thought they were going to have the opportunity to listen to these songs that hold a lot of nostalgic importance for them and that mean something to them. And instead, what they got for their tickets was watching a bunch of theater kid posturing BS. And I think that's kind of cheating your fan base out of what they were promised. The people who are excusing this are just, you know, a bunch of Zoomers who were introduced to the band through TikTok or something.
All right, let's do some super chats.
Gordon Shumway said James Gunn should have went full simple Jack with Lois's look. Have her wear Birkenstocks, non-shaven armpits, and huge glasses that say, I got a degree in journalism from Sarah Lawrence. Do you agree?
No. Wait, is Sarah Lawrence? Where did Kat Stratford end up going in 10 Things I Hate About You? What college did she?
I don't
end up
remember.
Going to?
Did she get? She had one that she wanted to go to that was like an all-female college.
Was it?
But it wasn't that one.
Sarah
was
Lawrence? I thought it was Sarah Lawrence. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Pop Culture Junkie said you have. Oh no, I already read that one. Adam said drives up to a drive-through. Cough. Are you ready for my order? Like, what the hell? Yeah, no, I have been to drive-thrus where they just don't say anything. They just, you know, turn on the microphone and you're expected to hear the fuzz, the static noise, and just start talking. Or, you know, it's a really bad sound system, so you can't hear them say what, like, you're not able to hear the words they're saying, and you're like, is anyone there? And they're like, what do you want? Like, I just don't understand the hostility.
Yeah.
You know, like, as a customer, am I like the capitalist bigwig who is holding you down?
That's you.
In your life? Is it my fault that you work at McDonald's?
I think they see your car and they're like, capitalist bigwig.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say what car I drive, but yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary beat me to the hello fact. Random edition by 1889. Telephone operators, who were usually women, were referred to as hello girls.
Oh.
That's cute. That's awfully quaint, isn't it?
I'm over the idea of having to change all of these cultural norms just because people are stupid these days and because they've gone to college and they can give me some annoying, verbose reason for doing so.
One of their popular ideas is that it's sexist and patriarchal for AI voices, automated voices to be female voices, such as Siri, Alexa, Cortana. They all seem to be female.
But you can change them, can't you? Maybe not
You
all
can
of them.
you can change Siri. I know that. I don't know about the other ones, but they think it basically communicates to people that women are subservient to your demands because it's a female voice that's taking instruction from you. Yeah. Yeah.
What was it?
I've seen some really creepy content about Alexa recently, though. Like, there was this woman who said she put an Alexa in her son's bedroom, and she instructed Alexa not to turn on, not to speak after 10 p.m. And she heard it speaking to her son in the middle of the night. And when she confronted Alexa about it,
She lied.
she lied.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
creepy shit.
The
So,
singularity is upon us.
I am
and
anti-Alexa in general. Like,
Luckily,
I'm
we
not
don't
going to
have
let
one
these
in
mass
here.
surveillance devices in my home.
I watched this wrestling podcast, and there's a pro wrestler named Alexa Bliss, and it was just a running joke that they would have to catch themselves because one of the hosts had an Alexa in the room. Instead of removing it, they would just try to not say her name whenever her name would come up,
Yeah.
and oftentimes not catch it.
Well, if you want to mess with people, just post a video online where you're screaming Alexa in the middle of it.
All right,
You're just talking about something totally random and then say Alexa.
Let's do one more.
TX Goliath said, "What's your routine for scam calls, Mary?" I mean, sometimes I let them ring now that I'm a more mature person, but I basically tend to pick up and I say hello, and if they ask me a sketchy question about my bank account, then I'm just like, what is this for? Like, I pretend to be naive so that I can waste their time, because every second that they're wasting on the phone
They're
with
not
me
getting
is
a
a second
call,
they're
yeah.
not spending scamming somebody.
You're doing God's work.
I really am.
In many ways.
Yeah, it's a service to society. Weary Traveler said, "I don't answer the door unless I'm expecting company." I just think that's a weird thing. Like, unless you live in an unsafe area, I suppose that's fine. But, like, if someone knocks on my door, like, I'm going to answer.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll check outside the window first and then answer.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. A lot of people were wondering why Sydney Sweeney was invited to Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding in Venice, because they're not friends. It turns out, as reported by TMZ, they're not friends, but they are business partners. And Sydney Sweeney is about to launch a lingerie line that is funded with $1 billion from Jeff Bezos himself, alongside Lauren Sanchez and other rich people who I haven't heard of. I have heard of Michael Dell. He is involved in this deal. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney was invited to their wedding allegedly to finalize the details of this deal for her lingerie line. So Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, along with tech mogul Michael Dell, plunked down $1 billion. That's an insane number for something like this. In a venture capital company called Cotu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they named Ben Schwerin as a partner in Cotu. They say he is funding Sydney Sweeney's new lingerie line, according to Puck News, so therein lies the connection. It looks like Cotu is backing Sydney Sweeney, and Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez and Michael Dell are backing Cotu. But when you look into the investment portfolio for this company, there's nothing related to beauty or fashion, so this is a left turn for the company. Sources tell TMZ Lauren Sanchez was the driving force behind the new venture, and she knows Schwerin well and introduced him to Sydney Sweeney. I'm assuming they mean in Venice. And then she put Jeff Bezos, Michael Dell, and Schwerin together to make the deal. And Sydney has basically been able to create this moment for herself, this huge opportunity, because of her charisma. Not because she knows anything about business or has earned any reputation so far in this area. She just has a production company and she's known for acting.
Yeah.
So they're taking a big risk on her.
Well, it's brand recognition with her name right now. And look, if you were looking for somebody who might be synonymous with the idea of sexy in 2025, I guess that's like, you're not going to Victoria's Secret for that
That's
anymore.
true.
Like,
I do wonder, though.
We were at the mall the other day and we walked by and Olivia's like, I can't believe Pink is still in business.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like I don't know. I guess they just keep in business because of e-commerce, not because people are going to the brick and mortar stores. But there is a power vacuum in the lingerie industry or anything that used to capitalize on sex appeal. However, it makes more sense to me that Sydney Sweeney would be a brand ambassador for something that appeals to men than the face of something that is supposed to sell to women, because everyone is saying she has a predominantly male fan base. Who are the women that are going to buy something sold to them by Sydney Sweeney if she doesn't have female fans?
Meaning that
if they've allegedly she has driven away her female fan base.
Meaning that you think that Sabrina Carpenter would be a better face of this business than, say, Sydney Sweeney?
Well, Sabrina Carpenter has already been a brand ambassador for Kim Kardashian's lingerie line in Skims.
So
that's already a proven formula.
We see those comparisons made that, they said Sydney Sweeney is for guys and Sabrina Carpenter is for girls.
Mm-hmm. They also put in this TMZ article the first promotion for it where she's modeling the products with this model named Amélie Tremblay, who I have not heard of before.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the first sneak peek of the venture alongside this fashion model.
In the TMZ picture.
A lot of women are saying this is a bad move for Sydney Sweeney's career.
Yeah, this lady made this video here.
Yeah. She didn't even really say why. She just seems utterly dismayed at Sydney Sweeney's lingerie line.
I don't know what it is, but so I have a soft spot for people who are just unapologetic haters, but this isn't one of them. I don't know why.
Well, I would be down to hear her argument if she had one, but she just kind of looked at the camera funny.
Here we go. Is that like a millennial pause?
That was a millennial lip smack right there. Staring at the headline.
Maybe that's what that lingerie party at the wedding was all about.
Okay, I never mind. I figured it out. It's because it's got Jeff Bezos. She probably just hates Jeff Bezos.
Is it really just the association with a billionaire that turns them off?
I interrupted. People hate when I did that. Let's finish the video.
Maybe they were just soft launching her new lingerie brand. Her cute little lingerie brand that Jeff Bezos just so happens to be donating $1 billion to after a foam party and a lingerie sleepover at his wedding. She could be doing Cars. She could be doing better films, but no. It's booby time, my brothers.
It's not either or.
So she doesn't like the fact that it's something that that might appeal to men, not as a purchase, but as she's
eye candy.
Yeah, as eye candy. And she doesn't like the fact that a rich billionaire with a B is investing in it. She should be making movies about fourth wave feminism and not shaving your armpits and making art with your period blood. And I don't know what she was talking about Cars, but that's also wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, it's weird to think the argument is about objectification because Sydney Sweeney has already promoted lingerie brands in the past, and nobody seemed to care. Nobody seemed to object to that. And it does seem to be mostly the association with Jeff Bezos that's pissing people off. She said, I feel pretty vindicated by this, not gonna lie. Another comment said, something is so fishy here. You do not need $1 billion to start a lingerie brand. They're saying this is some form of money laundering. Even a luxury brand. Are you serious? The math and logistics wouldn't even go more than 1 to 200 million if they did the most. Something is up. Another one said, I hope it fails. LOL. They're already preying on her downfall. But the thing is, she's saying, oh, she could be doing better movies. She could be promoting this. She could be making that. None of those things are mutually exclusive.
Yeah, she could still make...
she still has a production company.
Yeah.
And she's spoken at length about her ambitions for producing movies rather than just starring in them. Mm-hmm. And I assume creating a lingerie brand or selling any products, really, taking brand deals with Dr. Squatch or whatever company it may be, is a way to build toward that goal. If you're creating basically a stable form of income that doesn't have anything to do with the roles that you get in Hollywood, especially as a young actress, they're going to dwindle. Your opportunities in Hollywood are going to dwindle eventually. You have to have a more stable form of income to really be one of the highest net worth talents.
The smart ones get into producing early and understand that the business has an expiration date.
Yeah, and she may look like a ditz, but she definitely isn't operating like one. She's making moves on a low.
That is true. I did see rumors. I'm just looking at the super chat here. I'll just do it now. It says, Wild Man Beyond says Bezos wants Sydney to be a Bond girl. There were articles going on around over the weekend about her being eyed as a Bond girl for the next Bond film.
That wouldn't be a good idea. I just think it's not a good idea because she's not good at acting.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Like, she's really bad at acting.
Okay. James Bond movies.
From what I've seen.
James Bond movies don't need legendary generational performances. They don't.
I mean, it depends on how much screen time they give her, but
in a world where Denise Richards played a nuclear physicist, I think Sydney Sweeney can play some character.
It has to have a certain tone of seriousness. Like, it's a James Bond movie.
Camp is a part of James Bond. She could very easily.
If they play up that factor, then I would understand. But otherwise,
she can be.
She wouldn't fit into the Daniel Craig James Bond.
She can be Pussy Galore's niece, Pussy Abound.
We'll see. But yeah, she was referring to this lingerie party, and I was like, what kind of weird elite celebrity orgy is that? Like, I didn't hear about a lingerie party, but this was a real thing. This was the concluding event of the 3-day, $50 million wedding celebration for Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez in Venice. They ended with the Dolce Note, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, Sweet Night themed party, where many guests opted for lingerie and pajama-inspired attire. I do not want to see Oprah in a bra and panties, but don't worry, you're not going to see that. So
you don't
have to brace yourself.
We just have Jewel here.
Yeah, Jewel showed up. I don't know why she was invited.
And I'm going to tell you what Mary said. She goes, "Who is Jewel?"
I did, yeah. Like, because it was a while back that we talked about her. Wasn't she talking about the election or something? She was like fear-mongering about the election.
I don't know, man. Who will save your soul, Jewel?
Yeah, and then there was also a Vogue spread of all the different celebrities and the lingerie that they showed up in to fit the theme of the night. Yep. Do you have that?
I don't have that one. I only have the
This is the Vogue piece.
Yeah.
They have Kim Kardashian up at the top. I mean, I just think this is like a vindication of what people were saying about embracing tacky. Like, they were definitely not going for the old money, quiet luxury aesthetic with all of this. It was going to be as ostentatious as possible.
Well, in a lot of ways, like, I understand it's not that simple, but Jeff Bezos, you know, he's a lot of the people that are old money now use Jeff Bezos' services. So
yeah, but maybe this was just a taste for what Jeff Bezos is about to launch with Sydney Sweeney.
Yep.
Who knows? I think it's probably a smart move for her, but
oh yeah, I agree 110%. Like, this is right up the alley of what she should be producing.
If anything, it's less trashy. It's less lowbrow than selling bathwater soap. That's for sure.
I do want to know why.
Like,
Jewel
I think
was
this
there.
is at least a little bit more classy than selling your bathwater. So maybe this is a step in the right direction for her brand.
All right, let's finish these super chats.
Adam said, "I'm an introvert, but not everyone else has to be. Plus, I hated opening the door, especially if it's a stranger." I mean, I even have some bad experiences of opening the door to a stranger. But okay, so there was this one time when a maintenance guy was sent to my apartment, but I wasn't notified of it. And I opened the door and I was like, hello? Like, what's this about? And he was like, I'm here to, like, I don't know, he was doing something on, like, my air conditioning. And I was like, okay, well, no one told me that anyone was showing up here. I can't let you in right now. And he was like, no, you have to. Like, I'm coming in. Like, I'm walking in right now. And he literally tried to step in the door. I was like, no, you're not coming in right now. go away. And like, I couldn't believe how bold he was about it. I was like, no, like, this is your property.
It was an apartment?
This is, yeah, my apartment.
Likely
And
there was a work order with a time on there, and they probably sent you a message and said, we're going to have somebody coming by at this time, and you didn't get the message.
I looked at the message. I looked for a message, though, and there wasn't a message, so I don't know what to make of that. And then on the off chance that it's Mormon missionaries, I definitely want to open the door, because I had a very long, fruitful conversation with a couple of Mormon missionaries last year, and I gave them some sparkling water because they're not allowed to have soda.
That was very nice of you.
So that was fun. Gordon Shumway said, watch Gen Z invent this new thing where they leave their phones at home, so when they're out, they're not reachable, kind of like what we used to do with landlines.
That's a thing they did do, where they would go on walks and leave their phone at home. I forget, that one had a cutesy name too, but I forget
was
what
it
they
just Hot Girl Walk, or was it something else?
might have been that one, yeah.
They did have the Hot Girl Walk trend for a while, but that might have been a different thing. Silent walks. I think they just called it silent walks.
You just go out and you don't
Well,
answer the phone.
I wouldn't go out without my phone just because I always think, like, what if there's an emergency? Like, what if, I don't know. Like, you never know. And
You're pretty good about, like,
I
was
also
shocked.
can't navigate.
Yeah, as I always say, if Google ever wants to just, exert their power on the U.S., they just, if they want something from the U.S. government and the government says no, they just turn off Google Maps for a day. And then
Pandemonium.
And then everybody's like, crap. And then and Apple could do the same thing with whatever they use.
We have a 20 from guitarist Gabriel. Mary, as a Catholic, what's your view on lingerie for women? Is it inappropriate for men to purchase those items for their wives? Is it wrong because it's too sexualizing of women? Thoughts? I have listened to a podcast for a long time between two Catholic women. It's called What in the Dang Heck? And they actually discussed this very topic, maybe even multiple times, I recall, because they were promoting this lingerie brand as a sponsor. It's called Mentionables.
I remember us talking about this.
Yeah. And the whole sales pitch for this brand Mentionables is, they're not unmentionable because they market the lingerie without models and just mannequins. They're only modeled on mannequins, and that makes it less objectifying to market them as like with just sex appeal. And anyway, those women...
Are they ever going to start doing... are they going to use AI fake women one day? And then they're like,
probably already are. They probably already are doing that. But those women, when they started the podcast, one of them was married, one of them was single. Now they are both married, and they've talked about this subject. And their take is that there's nothing intrinsically like wrong with lingerie or like wearing it, or your husband buying it for you, or you're buying it for yourself. They don't think that it's like wrong, and I agree with them. I didn't really think anything to the contrary before hearing that.
It's like our meme that me and you have about Evie magazine, where they write something really abhorrent and they're like, for your husband.
I mean, I just think like it's kind of, I think about it as a fashion item, and I think that that's like not fashionable. I think of it as like very old school to wear lingerie. Like it's more of like it's associated with boomers, like from what I can tell. But I'm not an authority on it. I'm just saying Catholics are definitely allowed to wear it if that's what they want to do.
And as for like men buying it for the women, that's really only there for like movies to turn into awkward humor when a guy goes into a lingerie shop and tries to buy something for his wife and is really uncomfortable around everybody there. It was part of Hollywood's push towards the sexual revolution and to give women power in the culture sexually by having female shop workers help a sheepish dude try to buy lingerie for his significant other.
Does that like really happen in
the real world? I mean, that's the point though, right? Is that it, like whether it happens in the real world is immaterial. The fact is it's something they would show you because it was a sex positive way to show a sexually empowered modern woman because it was slapstick humor.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now everyone just buys it online anyway, so you don't have to have those awkward interactions with sales reps. Brian Bledsoe said the sex scene in Eternals was unnecessary.
Yes, it 100% was, on top of the fact that the movie was unnecessary.
What was the rating? Was it rated R?
It was PG-13. It was. I mean, it was barely. It was so stupid.
Was it just like a veiled sex scene?
They were like
was it really showing it?
outdoors and.
Was it that graphic? Like,
No,
I feel like if it were
wasn't.
PG-13,
it was
they
annoyingly. It tried to play it annoyingly earnest, and I wanted to die
can't. Okay.
because you didn't care about any of these characters.
Shane H. Wilder said, I kept a scam car insurance on the line for an hour. They eventually hung up on me when I asked for the rate on a 2017 Schwinn bicycle. You know what? You're doing God's work. I applaud you, Shane. National Legion of Decency is different from FTC. NLD started in the 30s to rate movies A to C. C meant condemned, and Catholics should not watch it. Well, what did B mean? I want to know. I want to know their rubric for this, because I would use it.
What does B mean? Would it be bro approved?
Bro approved. Bishop approved.
Bishop approved. There
And
you
then
go.
A is
Antichrist.
I don't even know. Weary Traveler said, just play the song, bro. Like, yeah, what is that performance leading up to? Like, what song it gets introduced by a mock election and mock execution on stage?
Like, it's the meme. It's like there's no song in their catalog that necessitated this
No.
bit.
There's no song in the MCR catalog that necessitates a mock election, especially with that stupid voice he was putting on. That might have been the most annoying part, like the weird 1930s
nasally,
presenter voice.
It's
Let's put up the signs that say nay, yay.
A is Archbishop approved.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I don't think he's actually saying that. He could just be making that up.
I
have
like
no
that.
idea.
Weary Traveler, Redeem the Nation said, oh no, I already read that one. Shane H. Wilder, cringe, Fall Out Boy would never. To quote Alice Cooper, known conservative musician who hates when musicians talk politics, just shut up and rock.
Yeah.
It's just so much simpler that way.
And he's so much smarter than everybody.
I mean-
Told you what Milwaukee really stood for.
I bet the people in the audience were just eating it up, though. So
I saw a guy in there whose mohawk was crooked. That was the worst part.
it's just like falling over.
It was like
flopping.
it was like shaved poorly at an angle.
Wild Man Beyond. Oh, you read that one earlier.
Yeah.
Rodolfo Morales said, binge watching / listening the show from episode 90-ish. When you both started hosting together, got enough PCC to last me for months before I catch up.
That's awesome. Look,
Wow.
there are things where it's like there are series that I wish I could like restart for the first time. Like podcasts.
I've done
and,
that.
I mean, I can do it, but it's never the same once you restart. Like
I've gone through the backlog of several podcasts, but I didn't know anyone did that for our show.
that's amazing.
There's
like-
it's so many episodes. Like the ones that I'm going through backwards are ones that film once a week,
Yeah.
not once a day. So
There's for instance, there was a podcast about the show Person of Interest called Podcast of Interest, and I reached out to the original host of the show because it's like no longer up because wherever it was hosted is like the servers aren't there anymore. So when you click on an episode, it says no episode found. I tried to get him to upload it somewhere else.
What did he say?
He's like, yeah, maybe someday. I'm sure he's just like,
He's like,
"Are you
leave me alone, dude."
Yeah, he's like, are you insane? His name's David Voxmull, he's like a comedian, and they did this podcast, and I loved it. And I was like, there was another one on the show. There was another podcast about the show, but they didn't start until like season 4, and I want to go all the way back to re-experience them watching it from season 1. And one of the most interesting thing about like podcasts about TV shows is the difference between somebody who's watching it through for the first time as it aired as opposed to somebody who has the perspective of years of a show being on the air. So, but I wish that guy would have just like, I'm sure he saw my post and was like, are you insane? But
well, it's nice that he half-heartedly responded.
He did half-heartedly respond.
Weary Traveler said, Mary, what was discussed in your fruitful conversation with the Mormon? As a former Mormon, I'm curious.
Yeah, what did you guys talk about?
Well, it was 2 of them. I think they do tend to travel in pairs, and they are usually sent out on those missions as like 18-year-olds, right? Like as soon as they graduate high school. So they were quite young. They were very nice. Mormons tend to be very nice.
Wait, which
And
ones are the ones with Rumspringa? That's the Amish, right?
That's the Amish.
Okay.
The Amish don't even want you to become Amish. They don't care.
If I was an Amish person who left the community, I would start a podcast called Rumspringa, and I would only have on people who had their Rumspringa and have them tell stories about it.
I kind of think that they get up to some really dark stuff on Rumspringa.
I mean, that's
If we have any ex-Amish in the chat, let us know. But it sounds like an absolute hedonistic mess.
free for all.
Free for all, yeah. But yeah, we talked about, me being Catholic and what the Catholic Church believes, and they told me I hadn't heard the Mormon gospel before, but it's very different from the Christian gospel, and they believe that Jesus, when he ascended, he actually descended again. Correct me if I'm wrong, you must know more about this than I do, but they believe that he descended again into North America and preached the gospel to the Indians and then ascended again. They gave me a copy of the Book of Mormon as well, which I still have. I should probably just burn it, though. Might be attracting some negative energy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there's like a rule for Catholics if they're allowed to like own a copy of a false gospel, but yeah, I felt bad because I was keeping them out in the heat.
Well, they were, they've trained for this. It's like those, it's like those comedy videos of the Chick-fil-A employees training to be Chick-fil-A employees, where the guy's like, he's told to like chase after a car going like 45 miles an hour, and he's running with the bag.
They do have Chick-fil-A employee energy, definitely. And they're just as well dressed. But yeah, they were nice and kind of deluded.
I lived 2 houses down from a family of Jehovah's Witnesses when I was younger. And
did they try to convert y'all?
If they did, I don't remember it. And after a certain age, I don't remember spending any time. I didn't see the.
Remember this clip that's gone like super viral. I think it's from Soft White Underbelly, where this guy is like, so my uncle was Jehovah, and then we all switched from Catholic to Jehovah, and my mom's doing coke. My I was like. You know what? Like, I'm enthralled. I would listen to this for hours.
We got a Rumble rant here from Deep South EDC. It says, Brett, watch Reliving the War series on the Wrestling Bios YouTube channel. Thank me later. I'll check it out. I've been watching a lot of the channel Forgotten History. Pretty much anything about like domestic terrorism or those events or Waco, Ruby Ridge. I watched a 2-part video on the USS Liberty, Son of Sam, Jonestown.
Don't bring up the USS Liberty.
Yeah.
Gonna...
No, I brought up the USS Liberty on IRL last week to feel unencumbered. I was like, so you want to talk about the USS Liberty?
Nobody did.
Nobody did.
Shane H. Wilder said, B meant there was some questionable content and the viewer should discern for themselves if appropriate. A meant appropriate for everyone.
Wait, what the hell did the B stand for then?
I don't know if they had an acronym.
It was just ABC? Okay.
We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie actually explaining it. Catholic League ratings. A, morally unobjectionable. Film acceptable for everyone. B, morally objectionable in part. Film contained some content considered objectionable. C, condemned, unsuitable for viewing by Catholics. Well, I think that the B is complicated because some of it is objectionable for kids and not for adults. And that doesn't mean that it's wrong to watch it if it just has like dark themes. Omega Red Fan said, I remember Hot Topic's front section of the store has all MCR Black Parade merch. Maybe they should go back to mall marketing.
They probably are still.
Their merch is still in Hot Topic to this day, and it's being sold to Zoomers who didn't grow up with their music. It's just like kind of a logo to them.
In a lot of ways, the mall is like a time capsule. The only thing that's changed is the prevalence of anime at those stores, which was less prevalent when I was young. Manga and anime showing up.
They're selling a lot of Sanrio stuff, which I like, but it doesn't feel like it belongs in a Hot Topic.
And I enjoy walking through the mall. I'm a fan of walking through the mall, but don't always get to.
I mean, I go into Hot Topic when I go to a mall, which is once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
But they don't really sell anything that's like worth buying. They used to sell skinny jeans. If you look on the Hot Topic website now, there are no skinny jeans.
Well, you get them from
It's crazy.
They were better quality from H&M anyways.
You can't find good skinny jeans these days.
All right. Guys, it's literally the heat is too bad in here.
I'm melting.
Mary is melting. We will, I guess we'll read Super Chats up until they run out, but you're about to be out here, guys. But we got one more from Weary Traveler there.
I'm glad I've made my moment on PCC.
It says imprint.
PCC. Sorry, imprint. I'm
Yeah.
losing the ability to read.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of, I ran out of stuff to watch in a lot of ways. There was a new Shoe on Head video today. That was, the most recent thing on YouTube that's, longer form content. Otherwise, I don't watch a lot of, the daily uploads from people that are, 18 to 20 minutes anymore. My choice for YouTube content when I'm watching now is can it get me all the way to work? Which is a 40-minute commute. Is there a video that I can watch where I don't have to find a new video halfway through the commute?
I listen to 3-hour podcasts for days.
All right. I believe that is all the Super Chats. Let me just check really quick over here on Rumble, make sure that we got through everything. Looks like we did. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already? Please and thank you. You should go ahead and do that.
We should be getting a second Crisis Party in a minute, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, did it not go off?
I don't know. I don't remember now. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived, and help make me TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived.
Okay. Got what? I just wanted to end the poll here.
Oh, I forgot about the poll.
Yes. I put, is wearing a tank top on PCC indecent?
I don't know, but
looks
it's indecently hot in here.
68% of you say no, it's fine, and 31% of you say yes, it's indecent. I may have to take this into account tomorrow if the heat, if the air is still not working in here. But guys, go ahead, hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet. Again, already, we are taking off early with all the Super Chats taken care of because there is no air conditioning in here, and we are soundproofed in, and we are literally dying. So hit the like button on the video. If you'd like to follow me, Instagram and X, at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than watch the show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is a great way to help the channel out. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at popculturecrisis, Instagram at popculturecrisisPod. We got a couple more Super Chats there. Ethan Miller says, I'm not leaving y'all a tip. I don't think Ethan Miller ever leaves us a tip anyways, unless his name is something different, but we got it. There's a couple more there.
Adam Lee said, tell Tim to fix that AC. Hopefully this won't be an issue tomorrow, but we don't know yet. Shane H. Wilder said, as long as it is only for scholarly study, you can keep a copy of the Book of Mormon and even a KJV, as long as you don't use them for religious purpose.
There you go.
Okay. I guess I don't have to burn them.
People keep asking in the chat why we're doing the outro out. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow, hopefully with the AC fix.
Please.
We will see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
To that I'm standing on business.
We will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.